Hey folks, welcome to another Irish Whiskey Review with me, Marty Macaulay. I hope you're all well, staying safe, taking all the precautions, washing your hands, hand sanitizer, masks on. These things are now part of daily life, so we all have to get used to them, and hopefully by now, a fairly healthy percentage of you will have had a vaccine, or at least shot number one of two. And make sure and go and get it. I had strong words with my elderly aunt today. She got offered the vaccine and refused. And I asked her, why did you do that? She says, well, I've heard somebody took a reaction to it. They didn't feel well. So I had to point out, now she's well into her 80s, and I pointed out that this prevents you becoming very unwell. Having a little bit of a temperature for half a day is the big difference between that and me maybe never seeing you again. So I was very stern with her, and hopefully I explained to her that if she gets a vaccine, I can come and see her and possibly give her a little hug. So fingers crossed, the prospect of that will cheer her up and spur her on to go and get it, you know. But anyway, so tonight's whiskey. Well, we're doing a pub only release, and it's from the rather beautiful Crosskeys Inn, Crosskeys Whisky Company in County Antrim, not too far away from where I'm from, and one of the most picturesque pubs you could ever imagine. You can see it on the label there. There's a bit of a drawing there, but it doesn't really do it justice until you see it in its setting. You come up over this, you come round a bend and up over a little bit of a hill, and just in the corner of a bend in the road, so it's this little pub, whitewashed, thatched, and really quite beautiful. Now, it's the oldest thatched pub in Ireland, and it's run by a good friend of mine, Vincent Hurl, who I was actually saw today. I was speaking to him via Zoom today, and he took over the Crosskeys some years ago, and he's a bit of a whiskey academic. He wrote a paper about whiskey tourism a few years ago, before it really kicked off the way it has, and he's been quite influential. He was away on a trip to China to explain about this, and there's lots of opportunity for stuff to happen in the Far East. I mean, just every time I think about anybody starting to sell stuff to China, it's just the head of the population is just incredible. There was the Kodak theory way back in the 70s and 80s. Kodak, for anyone who doesn't know, was a film company, or not film company, a camera company, and they sold film for cameras. And they had this theory that if everyone in China took one picture, one photograph once a week, that they would quadruple their income, because the population is just so vast. So I think Vincent was over at a trade show. He was over talking about his whiskey tourism and so on, and I think he was blown away by the whole thing. Now, this is, hang on, I have glasses. My eyesight's getting worse. It really is. I think the lockdown, because I'm not out as much, you're not out in open space. Actually, I'm starting to need these. It says here, the Crosskeys Inn is the oldest thatched pub in Ireland, dating back to 1654. The pub is situated near the shores of Lough Neagh in County Antrim, and is steeped in history and culture. The surrounding area was once renowned for its alcohol production, some legal, some not so legal, lots more of the not legal stuff. The Crosskeys Whisky Company is bringing the tradition back to historic County Antrim. This first release as a single malt, matured and bottled in Ireland, has been selected from single casks and chosen by our very own customers at the Crosskeys Inn. So 46% special reserve, 8 years old. Now, I'll just get a wee pour of this. Now, as far as I'm aware, this can only be bought at the pub. so it can only be bought at the pub, which, because of COVID, is currently closed. Now, it's a shame, because you really want to go there. Lots of music, peat fires. It's the perfect place to drink whiskey, and unfortunately it's closed. Now, anyway, I'll move that back into shot again. So what's it like? Very light on the nose, very sweet, candy sugar, some floral notes. It's a very light whiskey, very palatable, very approachable. Yeah, this would appeal to a non-whiskey drinker. Actually, a non-whiskey drinker could take this, because it's got that nice sweetness on the nose. It's quite light. There doesn't smell like there's going to be too heavy a body to it. So it's, in that regard, it wouldn't put anyone off. There's a very light oak, a very light toasted oak to it, and there's a touch of sweetness coming through from bourbon casks. Now, anyone who knows anything about whiskey will probably have a fair idea where this is coming from, because it's bought in. There's not a distillery at the Crosskeys. It's bought in whiskey, selected from casks, bought in and bottled. Yeah, the 46%. This actually feels like it punches a bit more than some normal 46. It's because it's quite light and the body's light, so you're getting more of the alcohol coming through. Barley sugar, lots of barley sugar. Again, the oak coming through, but not over oaked. There is a green element to it, but it's coming from the fact that it's really quite light. That the cuts, where it has been cut, is really quite early on in the distillate run, so there's no real heavy body to it. It's triple distilled, really quite sweet. I'm sort of loath to say that this would do really well in cocktails, because it would disappear. I don't think it would contribute a huge amount to cocktails. I'm not a cocktail guy, but if it was going into really any sort of whiskey based cocktail, I think it would disappear quite quickly. It's got something that stands out by itself. Now there's a little bit of citrus coming through on the nose, really quite sharp, lemony citrus. And the citrus is there again. Probably slightly less lemony on the palate, maybe slightly more lime. But I think because I tasted it and then re-nosed it again, you're getting this interplay between the two. So always do that, folks. So, nose taste, because you get a different interplay happening across the whole thing. Leave it for a while, let the finish come through. The finish, really quite light, chocolate, touch of that barley sugar again, a little bit of a sweet jam coming, and some fruit, but not citrus fruit, berry fruit, just a little bit, and a touch of vanilla as well. But it's very good, very good. 8-year-old single malt, and yeah, it's very nice. You really want to go to the place, obviously, folks. If you want to buy this, you really want to go to the Crosskeys and have an afternoon listening to the music. They occasionally, you can go down sometimes, and what they'll put on is an eel supper. And what they mean by that is, locally the eels are caught. They're exported all over the world, and they are one of the PGI products of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Lough Neagh eels have to come from Lough Neagh. Irish whiskey has to come from Ireland. I've talked about this sometime before. So you can have two PGI products at the same place in a very unique setting, and good company and good music. I thoroughly recommend the Crosskeys. It's a lovely bar, and you it's pretty much your picture postcard Irish bar. If you watch The Quiet Man and they walk into a pub and it's whitewashed walls, the hard stone floors, bar, boys in it that have been drinking in it since before they were allowed to, and they've been drinking away all their lives, know everybody, happy to see you, pleasant, friendly, and full of music and crack. It's a great place to spend an evening. Now, price wise, you can only buy it at the bar. I think it's £45, which for an 8-year-old single malt that's exclusive to a bar, it's not bad at all, really. So price wise, it's fair enough. If I'm scoring it, I'm gonna give it a decent mark actually. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because it's 46%. You're going to buy it and have memories of buying it, so you have to remember that. You will, if you buy it, you have to take it away and go home, whether that be you're a tourist and you've come from the US and you're taking this back. You bring it out, you do what good whiskey should do. You go, oh, do you remember the day we were there? Do you remember we met the man, and it starts a conversation, and that's what whiskey should be about. This is easy drinking. It's possibly a bit light for some people, but it's definitely easy drinking, and it's well done. So, as I say, 7 out of 10. If you ever get a chance, when we get a chance of going back to a bar, I could recommend going to the Crosskeys. You won't be disappointed. It's a lovely place, lovely place. So, on that note, I shall bid you adieu. Take care, stay safe, and sláinte. Take care.